Hi there, welcome back to Bernina Club. A couple of weeks ago we had this wonderful, clever, talented lady called Pauline Rogers that came over from Australia. She is a Bernina ambassador, and Pauline showed us how to do a method of quilting with your feed dogs up. It's called Controlled Quilting, well that's what she calls it. It's actually quite interesting and a lot of fun. So if you are having trouble freehand quilting or quilting with rulers or anything like that, you might like to give this a go. Now Pauline's been quilting for over 40 years, and she has developed a beautiful range of templates, and she's got an amazing book, and she also teaches a wonderful method as Quilt As You Go. So when you make a very, very large quilt, it can be quite tricky to quilt it because it's so large. So what Pauline does is she teaches a Quilt As You Go method, which is amazing. And she's got this wonderful little book here called Techniques, Tips and Tools, Quilt As You Go Handbook. And it has got step by step of all her methods. I'll just come through to a nice shiny page of a quilt. And she teaches you how to add sashings and multiple sashings and making your quilt grow bigger, and it's a very, very good book. So we now stock all her products that she sells, and today I'm really here to teach you how to set up your machine for controlled quilting. Now the first thing that Pauline does is on her machine she uses an open toe number 20 foot. Now there's a number 20 foot for every Bernina that's ever been made, and on our larger machines we have a very large foot, and on the smaller machines it's a smaller foot, but they're all a 20 foot. And the difference is they're cut out in the whole center so you can see where you're going. The reason we want to use this is because we're going to be following a line. So the first thing we do is we put on our number 20 foot. And the next thing we do is when we're quilting, it can be a little bit sticky on our sew table. So you can buy what's called a sew slip mat. This is a very heavy plastic mat that has stickability. This one has got quite a little bit of thread dust on it, so it's probably ready to have a wash in a warm water and dry it, and it will be sticky again. This is a very old one that's actually been cut. It was very big and now it's a bit smaller. But the idea is it comes with a little hole cut out, or you can cut a hole out. You put it over your sew plate so you can see your feed dogs, and you flatten it out and it sticks to your sew table. And what it does is it makes it very, very smooth for quilting. Okay? So it's called a sew slip. So you've got your number 20 foot and you've got your sew slip mat on. The next thing Pauline does is she likes to use certain tools, and these are her beautiful templates, and you get 2 or 3 in a pack, and every single template she gives you a design sheet so you've got an idea of what you can do with her gorgeous templates. And to use the templates you're going to be drawing through the template with a pencil. So you can use what's called a mechanical pencil, and you can get single mechanical pencils in white, grey, red or yellow. And then this one is my trio pencil that I can have 2 colours with, and my new kitten has come to visit. This is Neo the cat, and he's come to visit, so hopefully he'll disappear in a minute. So you can use either the Sew Line pencils, or you can get the Bowen range of pencils. So those are the pencils that you use. They're mechanical and they wash out, but they also, by the time you've stitched, they do disappear. And then Pauline loves the Roxanne glue. Now the Roxanne glue comes in different types of glues, like different ends. This one I've got's called the Dip and Dab, and I can just put my glue on like it's like a lipstick. The best thing about this, it doesn't gum up your needle, and it does not stick to your iron. So it's very, very good. So you can put your fabrics together and then you can iron them and it'll heat set, but it won't stay in there, okay? If you've got your glue from Bowen or Sewline, you can also use these as well, all right? So any of these products are available to be used. Now I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you have sewn, when you have drawn on your pencil mark. And I'll show you these. So this is to show you, this is a design template. And so when you buy your design, it gives you ideas of what you can do with that design. Okay? So the wadding is the next most important thing. So Pauline has tried every type of wadding that is out there on the market, and her go-to wadding for this, and that is hot, so leave that alone. Her go-to wadding for this job is 80 cotton and 20% poly, and it is double-sided fusible, okay, so both sides can stick together. So I've got a layer of fabric here, this is my backing, and I've got a layer of fabric here, this is my front, and you would think you would draw this on before you start sewing, but you don't. You fuse this together first. So the first thing I'm going to do, this is going to be my block, and I'm going to fuse it all together. So I'll just bring my pressing board over, and I will lay this down, and when you're ironing, just press it on, okay? Don't iron like you're ironing clothing, just press it on. Do you know, kittens are like naughty children, actually. They're a little bit of a pest. We may have to shut him out in a minute, but he's very inquisitive in my sewing room. And at the moment, he's in a whole box of zips. So we're just going to press this on nicely, and it's going to sit nice and flat. So nice warm iron. You don't want to use any steam. Then I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to fuse it this side. Oh, that had a bit of a crease. This is how easy it is to pull up. Just iron it back down. It's nice and easy. So I thought what I'd do is I'll make some little zip-up bags for each of my templates, so I know which one is in each bag, because there's quite a few. And they're labelled A, B, C, D, E, F, and it's very, very easy. So you can choose what design set you like. I'm just going to undo this iron for safety reasons with an animal around. Right, so here's my block ready to go. So the next thing I would do is I would choose my template, and I'm going to lay my template on here, and I'll get my pencil that's got my grey lead in it. Now when you do it, hold it straight up and down, and then just draw through your template. Oh, hang on, I have to do that on a solid table. So I'll just line that up again and do it very, very lightly. So straight up, nice and light. And I'm just going to use the middle part of this template. Yep, you can just disappear. Very helpful. So I'm just going to use that middle part. Oh, I missed one piece there. And then I'm going to come across, I might just do one up here. Yep, you're helpful. And I'm just going to draw this one on. I'm teaching a cat to sew, it's a new thing. Yes, I got it all. So there's my little design. Now, with controlled quilting, when I'm going to look at this to start, I actually will sew all the way around to there, and then all the way around to there, back to there, and then I'd go up. And you just choose the best way it is to do it. So I think I might go all the way there because I don't want to stop, and then I might go round and up there. That would be better. So you look at your design and you decide how you'd like to do it. Yes, you're helpful. Now, here's the next thing you're going to do. Now, this is the most important thing. So to do controlled quilting, what you need to do is you need to take your foot pressure off your machine. All right, we're just going to let this cat go out for a little walk. There we go. We will not be disturbed again. So we're going to take the foot pressure off our machine. So we've got our feed dogs up. We're going to change our stitch length, which is here. We're going to change it to about 2.8. Whoops, 2.8. And you can go longer if you like. And we're going to push the I for information. Now, most of the new machines will have 3 lines down here, and you push the picture of the foot pressure, which I'm going to show you what it looks like. So most machines you come down here and put it, and if not, you'll have a piece on the side that you can release your foot pressure. On this particular machine, I go I, and this is the picture you're looking for. This one here. So it's got a little pressure pump thing looking and a foot. So we touch it. Now I can see by looking at this that this machine, the foot pressure's on 50. So I'm going to touch it, and I'm going to we'll use my stitch length, and I'm going to bring my foot pressure right down. You can take it down where you like. I've worked out on this machine, it works really good on 9. Now what it means when you take your foot pressure down, and then you can close it out. So stitch length longer, foot pressure on 9, and you can see it's all yellow. What I've changed is yellow, what I've changed is yellow. Okay, then you can close that if you like. Now you watch what happens. I'm going to put the foot down, and I can actually sew anywhere I like because there's no pressure on my fabric. So when you're doing it, you want your fabric to be nice and free, and this is where it's much easier than freehand quilting. You're not going to get sore shoulders. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is because when you sew, you're not sewing like this. I don't have to be sitting in front of the machine. I just need to guide the fabric. It's pretty amazing. So now I've just got white in the bobbin so you can see it. Pauline uses the monofill, which is a Madeira, she uses the poly neon because it doesn't melt. So Superior Threads bring out a thread called poly neon, and it does not melt. So that means when you iron your quilt, it's not going to melt, and that's her go-to thread. And she uses invisible thread on the bottom of her quilt so you don't see. But I've got white thread so you can see. So I'm just going to put a thread on top, and I think I'll use this beautiful dark variegated thread. I usually use a thread stand, but I took it to work, and I left it there. So I'm just going to use it on my machine. So thread your machine up. I like to put on a top stitching 90 needle, because then if I decide I want to use metallic thread, I can. But Pauline uses a titanium needle, which we have. What am I doing? I'm not watching what I'm doing. Okay, I thread all day, everything. How about we go this side, because that's the side it goes. Now I'm going to thread the needle, show you once again, because every time I do it, people go, oh, I forgot about that. So there, straight down, slide it across, and oops, it's a very lightweight thread, this one. Slide across and make sure it's in. Put your thread in, lift it up, and let it go. Okay? If you want to, you can go under, put your thread in, come to here, and there's a little, not on this machine, there's a little thread catcher on the new machines, and you can put the thread in there. Bring your thread out, and then you can lift your foot up. Okay? Right. Now the next thing is one more thing. Because I've got a thicker thread on the bottom and I've got a lighter thread on top, I like to take my tension down. So on a lot of machines it'll be down the side. On this machine I go I. And this is what the picture of the thread tension looks like. So normally on the new machines it's here. The second one down's your foot and the third one down's your foot pressure, but on this machine it's here. I like to take that down to about 3.5 for doing this type of fine thread. If you own a yellow bobbin case for your new machine, put your yellow bobbin case and it will pull that bobbin tension down anyway. So now we've got no tension on here, we can start showing you controlled stitching. So all we're going to do, I like to bring up my bobbin thread. So one stitch up like that, lift, one down, one up, lift up. Oh, if I could put my bobbin in? Oh, shall I put my bobbin in? Actually, I might just put a black thread on so you can have a look at the underneath stitching, because white's not going to show up. So I'm going to put a black bobbin on. Oh, one more thing, really, really important. When you wind a bobbin with invisible thread, when you turn your bobbin winder on, like that, it's showing the speed would normally be there. When you wind your bobbin with invisible thread, I want you to put your speed right down to about there. So that slowed your bobbin winder down. The next thing I'd like you to do is only full half a bobbin. A half a bobbin with invisible thread will go a very, very long way, but you're going to get much better tension results if you just do half bobbins at a time. So I'm going to pop my bobbin in, because my machine clearly doesn't work without it. I'm going to bring up my bobbin thread this time, pull my bobbin thread up, and I'm putting black on so you can see it. And all I want to do is follow this line. Now I'll put my needle down like that. Now I'm going to just use my fingers to actually stitch, so I don't really even need to sit in front of the machine. So hopefully I can do it not sitting in front of the machine. So you're just going to follow your stitches, your line of, your pencil line. And look at this, I'm not got any feed dogs up, so my machine's going to go where I ask it. And I'm literally holding it with two fingers. I'm going to stop on my point and then work out where I'm going to go. And remember, your pencil line's going to be getting washed out. So don't stress about your pencil line. I think I will go all the way around here. Needle down, knee control is the best. It's so easy because your foot is basically floating. I'm going to go around this way this time. And come around here. So I'm sort of thinking about how I'm going to be stitching this, and you want to try and do it continuously. So by doing this, whoops, I've gone right off my mark, but it's going to be washed out, no one's going to see that. It is a bit trickier when you're sitting not in front of your machine, but that's all right. I just want to show you, it's pretty easy. So now I will have a look where I'm going as to where I go next. When it's a real, I'll go back one. That's it. When it's a real definite, if you do that, you can unpick that later. I went back 2 steps. When it's a real definite design like this, when you cover your whole block, it's so simple to do. Now I have to think about this. When I come to here, I'm going to want to do that number 8 first and then finish there. So I'm going to go around this way. You can see how easy it is to turn your work. So no sore shoulders, no trying to go like this and really steady your work. Very, very simple. and the pencil marks are only a guide. And now I can see I can finish there, okay? I would go slower and get them all meeting in the middle, but it's a bit hard when you're doing a quick demo and not sitting in front of your machine. So go all the way to here. Now Pauline likes to back stitch, so she does a couple of stitches back and a couple of stitches forward. I didn't when I did my samples. I preferred to get a, I preferred to get a needle and thread it through the wadding, because remember you've got wadding inside here and then you don't see it. So on the back, I'll just cut these threads. I'll pull the thread out, I've got about 1 metre. On the back you can see you've got your beautiful stitching as well. So if you do a contrast colour, you're going to see all your contrast on the back of your quilt, and you do a contrast colour on the front of your quilt. So that is what controlled quilting is all about. Now I'll show you my first attempt. So this one was my first attempt, and I did the whole of the green all in one without moving, without stopping. And everywhere I needed to go back over, I just went back over and around and back over and around. So when you do need to go back over, you simply just go back over the same line slowly and carry on going. And this one I did with the red stitching, but I'd forgotten to take my bobbin thread towards the bottom, so you could just see a little bit of my white thread. And then I thought I'd have a go at this one. So this is one of the templates, and this one was a lot of fun, because when you do it, I go up to here and down to there. Then I went up to there and down to there, up to there and down to there, up to there and down to there. Then I went back. And so you just do the whole thing in one motion. It's quite a lot of fun. I didn't have the design template, so I made my own design up. And then the other thing that Pauline does is she has these amazing sasher tools so you can make your sashing in between your quilts really, really easily without having to do any work. And you can join your quilts up with contrast or the same colour fabric to make your quilt grow bigger. So it's all about doing your blocks and then joining it together instead of trying to join a whole quilt. I'll show you my other samples. So then I thought I'd have a go at her beautiful feathers. So this is her feather template. And inside this feather template, you get 3 of these. Can I put it up there? Oh, hang on, I'll put it against there. There we are. 3 of these gorgeous templates with different sizes on them to make different types of feathers. And so I thought I'd have a go at it. And I must admit, it is the easiest way to make feathers you've ever done. And I used a metallic thread, and I just drew my design on and just went around, and it was so quick. It took longer to draw it than it did to sew it. So that's the feather template, and it comes like this with 3 templates, and it's called Feather Templates for Controlled Quilting. And then this one here is amazing. This is called Dot to Dot. Now what it does is it gives you all of these templates with different shapes, and you can line them all up and make incredible designs like this. And that's for all over quilting. It is absolutely amazing. The same controlled method, but it's all how you draw it up. And then in each of her templates you get these A design sheets, or in the feather one you get a whole lot of interesting ideas of how to use her templates. Now every single one of her templates, when you scan on here, when you scan on here, it will take you straight to her YouTube website videos. So every single one of these has a full tutorial. You don't have to think, oh, I'm going to buy it and then I'll never use it, because every time you scan on here or go on dot to dot on YouTube, you will see her videos. So it's very good, and all her downloads are free. In the notes that I'm sending you, you can click on the link and it's got all the free downloads for you. So that's those ones. And her templates look like this. And so I have labelled mine. So this one here is M templates. And what I'm doing is I am doing a controlled stitching on each of my bits of fabric. I'm putting the set that it is, and I'm just using up all my old zips. I'm putting a zip on top, and I'll do another page here that's clear, and I'll join it together with some binding, and these will be my pockets that these live in. So I thought that was a bit of fun idea, and I'll send you the measurements for these, so you might like to make yourself some pouches as well. So that one I've done also with metallic thread. And this one under here, I've done that, and I've used variegated thread, and that's set F. So then I'll know exactly what templates are in what pouch. This is one that I have designed myself because I didn't have the design sheets, and I thought I'll just choose what I like. And I used this design, which is design F. And I have drawn this design on, and you can see I've only stitched one of these. And I'm using a variegated thread for that. Then I put another one on this side, and I put 4 round in a circle. And this is all penciled ready to go. And that was design F. And what comes with that design also, oh no, that's A. What comes with that design is also that one there. So you get those two in your F designs. So in C, this is the one that I did before. You get this one, which makes circles, and this beautiful design here. In B, you get B, 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 B. Must be these two. Maybe. Nope. That's B. So you get those two in B. And in A, you get those two. Oh, and that's F as well. And I'm not sure, this could be even with this one. I forgot to label it. See what happens? Forgot to label it. So I'll have to label that one when I find out which one it is. So there's beautiful, beautiful designs. There's many, many, many more designs as well. Now, her business is called PQW. So Pauline's business is PQW. So when you're looking for her online, it's Pauline's Quilters World, and she just calls herself PQW. Now this is the clever little sasha quills that she sells. And got the dropsies. And every single one of these is a different size. So this is 1 1/4. This is 1 1/8. This is 3 inches, which is huge. This is 2 1/2 inches, 2 inches, 1 1/2 inches, and so on. Now how these are used is you get your piece of fabric, and whatever size one of these you're using, you have to double the fabric. So this bit of fabric is, where's my inches? This is 2 1/2 inches, so I need 1 3/4, 2 1/2 inches, half of 2 1/2 inches, 1 1/4, 1 1/4 inch. There it is there. Okay, so I'm going to turn my iron back on and show you just how you use these, and another tool another wonderful little bits of gadget you need. So these little things, And I'm going to put them on here so you can see them on a dark colour. And does that show up? You can see the pins. So these are called fork pins, and the reason why they're good is because they're joined together. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to use my iron and I'm going to show you how these work. I don't need that one. Right, so this one here, the first thing you do is you give your fabric a little press. And you fold your fabric in half for about the first couple of inches, give it a press. And then you fold your fabric into the centre and fold your fabric into a centre like that. Okay, so you've got the wrong side of your fabric here and the right side of your fabric here. Okay, so this one will thread through your sasher tool. So this should fit in here perfectly because you've doubled the width of it. So each one of these you're going to be doing, you need to double the width. You go up through your sasher tool and down through your sasher tool. Just like that. And then you put it on your ironing board. I'll go that way so you can see it. And you're going to put your little fork pins. So it's going to hold that really, really, really well. I'll put a couple in. Now when you're doing it, I'm going to get on this other side. When you're doing it, you're going to use the side of your iron. Okay? So what happens is when you pull it along, it's going to just make your binding. So you just put this onto here and you use the side of your iron and you just run it down. It's really, really clever. Whoops. Watch what you're doing, Robin. Run it down the side, just like that. And it has made all your seams go to the centre. It's very smart. You need to keep it straight. When you go crooked, it doesn't work. So what that's done is that has made a perfect sashing exactly the right width. Okay, this can be used for making a bag handle. That could be really, really good for making a bag handle, because then what you could do, oh, I should have got a contrast colour, shouldn't I? Oh, that's all right, there's one here. Then what you can do is you can cut another one 1.5 inches. I've used this a few times, so I'll just iron this out. This is 1.5 inches cut. So I need to find my, I need to find my 3/4 inch one, which I don't have, so I'm going to cut this down 1 inch. So just get your cutter, your ruler, and I'll just cut that bit of fabric down to show you. I'll just cut this little bit of fabric down, and I will make this, what are we going to do, a 1/2 inch one? So I'll cut this down to 1 inch. So that's nice and easy. I'll cut it down to 1 inch. Just so I can show you. There we go. So I will get my 1/2 inch one. I'll do exactly the same. Iron it in half. Press it into the centre. Oh, this is going to be a tiny one. Like that. And these are all done. I don't need that on an angle, by the way. I need it straight. And now it's going through the 1/2 inch sasher tool. So up through that one and down through this one. These sasher tools have been out for quite some time. Now this one's already been haven't used my pins. This one's been pre-used, so hopefully it won't, it'll work okay. Come up to there, put your pins in on both sides so it holds it, and use your little iron and just very, very gently keep it even, Robin. There we go. Just be careful because I have used this a few times. There we go. And iron it down. Now this is when you use your glue. So you can do two things. You can either use your glue pen or you can use your rock sand glue, but your glue pen is fine for this particular part of the job. And just glue down through the middle. Then if you want to, you could use this side and you could iron a contrast down through the middle and make a bag handle. But before you do that, in here you've got no stability. So what you actually do is you get a little piece of your wadding and you cut it 1/8 of an inch less. That's how easy it comes out, even after you've ironed it. And you place that in the middle of your fabric. And you give it an iron. And that has made a wonderful sashing or a bag handle. So I didn't show you the idea of the bag handle, but the idea is this is one side, but this becomes the right side, and you would simply iron that all the way through the centre, and you'd measure it both sides and get it perfect. I'm using my micrometer. Obviously you'd use a contrast fabric, and then I'd stitch down either side. So here's one I prepared earlier. So what I did was I used the blue fabric, I have the wadding in the middle, I put a black fabric through the centre, and then I did the blanket stitch in metallic down both sides and a fancy stitch down through the middle. So instead of making a sashing, which is this is exactly what I've done here. What I've done is I made it into a bag handle by putting this onto the wrong side. So that was the right side. Normally you would put it on here for a sashing. I turned it over and I put it on this side. Now that glue did not stick, so I need to use, that did not stick for that job, and ironed it. So I need to use my proper rock sand glue, dab it along, just like that, and now I can stick it on and then I can fuse it on. So stick it on like that and iron it on. Okay, now when you're going to stitch this, you can do all sorts of things, but you actually stitch this first. So you don't go using this as a sashing on here until you've done all your stitching. So what you can do, if you don't want to do another bit of fabric on top, you could do and stitch on your machine, you could do freehand quilting, you can do all sorts of things. And when I've sewn 4 more blocks together, I'm going to come back and do a video and show you how you do all your sashings. Even though she's got a video herself, I will do a video for you Bernina Club ladies on how I do it, which is exactly the same, but using your machine with your number 10 foot. And it's a really, really good method, and it makes a really tidy finish on the back and on the front. But for bag handles, you don't have to think of this just for quilting. This is a game changer because everything is so perfectly done and evenly done, and your machine obviously has got some incredible stitches you can use. So that's just a little tiny insight into controlled quilting, and I really wanted to let you see what it was all about. And if anybody would like to come into the store and have a play, I will be keeping these in the shop. You can just come and sandwich some wadding and fabrics together and draw some of my designs and come and have a little bit of a play. And I think if you've really struggled with any freehand quilting, or ruler work, this is going to be the next best thing for you. And so far, everyone that's tried it has loved it. So I really think you should give it a go. And remember, it is foot number 20. That's the secret, because you can see exactly where you're going. It makes it nice and easy. And it comes in, every single machine has a foot number 20. Old machines and new machines. So you've got no excuse really. So that's the key to being able to do controlled quilting. Oops, just picking up all my bits. So yeah, so have a go at that, and anything you need us to order, please let us know. We've got more sew slips on the way. We've got more different quilt designs on the way. But go and have a look at Pauline's Quilters World, which is pqw.com.au, and have a look at what else she does. But her videos are incredible, and I think you'll just be another thing to add to your quilting and sewing experience. I think you'll love it. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll see you next time.